Hi everyone, I'm Angel and I am here with my friend Ryan Deluca, and we're really excited to be able to collaborate on a cacao and meditation, Soma breathwork meditation coming up. And I am going to be joining Ryan in some vocal toning to help guide you deeper into your meditation space during that ceremony. But today I wanted to talk to Ryan and just ask him a little about his journey with cacao, because I think it's just been a really fun process for you to dive into and like really get to know cacao. So when did you first start using cacao? What drew you to it?
Yeah, well, I would probably, it's probably important to say that I've always loved chocolate. I've grown up having a sweet tooth, and so my exploration with cacao is, just turn that down just a touch, has been through, I participated in a breathwork ceremony over 5 years ago. And in that ceremony, the facilitator gave us all ceremonial cacao prior to, and it was by far the deepest that I've gone at that time, at least in a breathwork ceremony. Sometimes I could struggle, like kind of getting into my body, getting out of my head, and after having the cacao, I was just able to get right in and just had a really deeply healing and kind of profound experience. And so it left me with the like, wow, what is how much of that was cacao? And that's kind of where my journey with it started.
And so then did you start using cacao on a regular basis after that? And what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so going back to that sweet tooth that I have, it then naturally became a very regular part of my routine, and I just kind of fell in love with cacao, and I was learning about all the amazing like heart-opening benefits of it, and it like is this amazing superfood. And like historically it was like treated like so sacred that it was like one of the first forms of currency like back in like South America. And so that's I was using it every day to as like to supplement like my meditation. And it was really important for me, especially during like the COVID times when I didn't realize that I was isolating. And cacao was a really important like ritual for me to just start my day in this way of like playing some of my favorite music, preparing this drink, going out and putting my feet on the earth, like feeling the sun, and just like taking some time just for me to sit in like quiet solitude and just enjoy this amazing beverage.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I love that. Cool.
Yeah.
And so do you, can you tell me a little bit about where you get your cacao from?
Yeah, so I was privileged enough to go to be invited to go to Honduras. There's a local man, Chad Morton, who is connected to Atacun Chocolateria, and so I got to meet Efren Elvir. He's the founder of Atacun, and they are sourcing all of their cacao from different regions of Honduras, and mostly in the region of Comayagua, Honduras, which is just these beautiful mountains. And so I got to go out there and meet some of the cacao producers and farmers and learn about the history of cacao in Honduras, learn about their history specifically, like speaking to these individuals. And it was just a really life-changing experience.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. Yeah, we could do a whole nother video on Atacun and that process. Yeah, that's great. So I understand that you are now, you started by, receiving this cacao and then bringing it into your ritual. Then you contacted the source of cacao. And now you are taking that raw product and making things in your home. So can you tell me about what that process looks like and how you're doing that?
Yeah, so part of this journey for me was just wanting to sample different types of cacao. And while I was in Honduras and when I came back, I learned how to actually make it. And it was the clearest yes my body's ever told me of like start making chocolate. And so for those that aren't familiar, cacao and chocolate, those are terms that can be used interchangeably. Cacao is the fruit. It starts as a pod on a fruit tree. And then once it's refined down, it turns into chocolate. So when I'm talking about cacao, I'm referring to 100% chocolate. And so the farmers and the producers out there, they are harvesting the fruit from these pods, and they start as little beans, and
Probably just one is safest.
yeah, so
Really
so they start as these beans, and so each one of these you could plant, and it would become another cacao tree, and so these beans are then being fermented over a span of time, and that's you're changing the chemical profile of that. And I'm then purchasing the cacao beans from Atakun, and so now I'm roasting them and refining them down into chocolate. And so what that means is, so the cacao bean, 50% of the profile is actually cocoa butter. So it's basically cocoa powder and cocoa butter, and so half of this bean is fat. And so when you heat it slowly, it's going to melt down, and it turns into that kind of velvety chocolate that we all know and love. And so it also has an outer shell. Some people will separate that outer shell, but there's so much amazing theobromine, which is the heart opening component of cacao, and there's really healthy fiber in it. So I'm just grinding it all down and turning it into, and that's the cacao that I'm making, which then eventually, once it hardens, it turns into these what we kind of know as chocolate. So yeah, I guess we'll bring it a little closer. So yeah, that is, in a nutshell, that's my process. And then I'm taking some of that chocolate or cacao and putting it into and making it into a drink. And so I will add honey or maple syrup, a little bit of sea salt, different spices like nutmeg and cinnamon, and cayenne pepper is one of my favorite things to add into it. And just kind of the cacao has been a really beautiful way for me to just be playful and try different sort of ingredients, try different concoctions. And my lab with cacao is like my playground. So what Angel and I are enjoying is this is a lavender peppermint cacao drink. So I have steeped lavender tea and peppermint tea, and then used that as the liquid, and then made the cacao and melted the cacao in this liquid, and then added some honey and some cinnamon, and that's what we're enjoying today.
It's delicious.
So, yeah.
I like to call Ryan the cacao magician. So he's been struggling with the title, crafter, maker, magician. I think
magician. I'll need a cape.
Yeah, you're
or
putting
a wand
enough love into it. I think magician is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is delicious too. It's this is kind of similar to what people will receive in a cacao ceremony, correct? A liquid drink like this.
Right. So so like in the meditation that we're going to be doing, I'm going to prepare a traditional Honduran recipe, and this was one of the I learned about this recipe when I was out in Honduras, and it's going to be, what I'm so excited about is that almost all the ingredients are sourced directly from Honduras. So I'm using sugarcane that is produced out there, bird's beak pepper that is grown out there, and allspice that is also grown out there, and then obviously the cacao. So at the meditation that we will be collaborating on, you will get to enjoy a traditional Honduran cacao drink.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you would like to find out more about what Ryan or I do, you can find us. The easiest way to find me is on social media, Terraveda, Terraveda. I'm an Ayurvedic and yoga practitioner, meditation coach. And Ryan, how can we find you and more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm a somatic therapist, and obviously doing a lot with cacao, and so you can schedule sessions or find out more about the work I do on ryandelucasomatichealing.com, and you can also find I post a lot of content on Instagram. My handle is Deluca, RYDELUCARY, and that's how you can find me on social media.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So. And I will put a link to this video to Atakun, where you can get the chocolate. That is from Honduras, and there's also our friend Chad locally helps make that and temper that here in Grand Rapids. So it's a really sweet way to get cacao if you're going to, because it's there's a lot of connection here to there, and really supporting what the people there are doing and helping heal the earth by supporting a really good, well-sourced cacao. So thank you so much.
Thank you.